Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for checking out another video. Today, I don't want to say it's another brake video, but it's kind of like another brake video. With a twist, a little bit. I have a 2002 Toyota Highlander, came in for some unrelated stuff. Check engine light, possible tune-up. Under the category of, pay attention while you're looking it over. I went to put on the lift, I went to roll it forward, and the car wouldn't, I won't say it wouldn't roll, but it was really tough. I had to push it really hard, which led to me just grabbing a hold of the wheels and checking them all, and both front wheels wouldn't turn. I really had to put some effort into it. That's kind of when I stopped. I thought you'd bring you guys along and show you some basic checks. So come on along. Alright, obviously I've already pulled the wheels off, so you'll have to trust me. When I had the wheel on and I went to turn it, it wouldn't turn. And this is both front wheels. Both rear wheels turn fine, just the fronts. I wanted to stop there and bring you guys along. Now some guys may look and say, well, let's just pull the calipers off real quick and try to compress them. And under the heading of don't get ahead of yourself, don't touch stuff, you may inadvertently fix something. We said it a lot, like with an evap code. Don't go just going over and start playing with the gas cap. You may inadvertently fix it and then you're not sure. So, before we do anything, wheel came off. I do a quick visual. The pads are real new. I didn't do them. I can. No. Nothing looks out of place. But I should try getting the camera in the right angle. Sorry, guys. No, nothing looks out of place, although on the other side, I will bring you along. You're gonna walk with me. I don't want to make you dizzy, but if you notice, flashing lights at you and everything. Sorry, I am trying to do this quick. I know I say that all the time, but I really am. Which one was it? Maybe it's this one. Here we go. This boot wasn't put back in. This shoulder right here is supposed to be inside here. Which tells me, actually, is it both of them? No, this one's actually, no, yeah, both of them. This one too. This shoulder right here is supposed to be inside. In other words, you insert the boot before you put the pin in. It looks like somebody might have just slid the boot over to the pin and then stuck the whole thing together, because this is, I should be able to pull this back like I can. Now I can't do it because my fingers are all slippery. But, that being said, let's come back around this side. Sorry if I'm not doing this normal, where I kind of stop and reshoot it, different angles, stop. I'm trying to save myself a little bit of editing because I'm ridiculously busy. But, okay, so we know this wheel won't turn. I'm not real strong, but trust me, I should be able to turn it. Pads look new. Obviously somebody's been in here. The hardware doesn't look like it's been replaced. So it looks like somebody might have just thrown a set of pads in here. I don't know that necessarily, easy for me to say, caused the problem. But when a wheel is this tight, obviously there can be a mechanical issue through the drive line. Something like the axle shaft holding it. I guess if the transmission's got an issue. I don't think that's a problem here. Let's go, or even if it is, let's not jump that far. Let's go to the most common things. Let's go the easiest route, right? 3 things are gonna cause this to bind up. Hydraulic pressure that's stuck, for lack of a better term, in the caliper. So we have some residual hydraulic pressure holding the piston out and grabbing the disc. We could have two different ways we could have physical, a physical binding. One could be if the piston in the caliper that you'd normally collapse when you do a brake job, that piston may be stuck out. Or even if the piston's working, if you get slides that are bound up real good, it could hold this caliper in against the outboard side of the rotor, causing it to bind up. So hydraulic, physical a physical, man, I'll get my words out today. A physical problem being in the caliper piston or in the actual slide pin here. And this goes back to my other videos where we always say, make sure you clean everything right, do it once so you don't have these issues, if in fact it turns out to be that. So what we're going to do here, real easy, is, hang on. We're going to crack this bleeder loose. And what that'll do is, if for some reason this hose is collapsed, which it does happen on some of the older hoses, you'll get, you can get a flap that develops inside, almost like a check valve, where fluid will go down, this flap will, inside the hose, you get a little flap that goes like this, acts as a check valve, the fluid don't come back. And we're holding pressure in the caliper. So the easiest thing to do, grab a wrench, crack the bleeder loose, it'll drip, that's fine. If there was pressure held up in here, we just released it. And we should be able to turn this. And we cannot. It is still physically bound at this point. I do not believe it's a hydraulic issue. We will tighten this back up and we will clean it up afterwards. Let me throw my wrench on the floor. At this point, I want to take the caliper. Now I want to take the caliper and lift it up. And let's check the slides, and then we'll try to compress the caliper to see which one it is. Alright, slightly better position. I'm going to knock this bottom bolt off. And see if it possibly, I'm just going to swing the caliper up. Just take a low bolt out, and oh, we're not going to do nothing of the sort. It's stuck. Hang on. Try this again. What I really want to do is I want to stick a pry bar in here and pry the caliper back on the normally, but I don't want to do that right now because I really want to see before I go messing with anything. Like that. Now, pins are, can you see the bottom one? Yeah. Not only is this light, not only it's free, but the boot's not even in there. In fact, I think the boot is ripped. I think part of it is supposed to be tucked in here, but it's not that. And this part is also, although this one's actually tucked in, this one's also free. So it's not a hydraulic restriction. It's not a physical binding from, from the slide. Our next trick is going to check this caliper piston to see if it's actually collapsing like it should. You can see these things are like brandy new. So the thought here is somebody's been in here and slapped a set of pads in. So let's get a tool, see if we can compress this down a little bit. Alright, I did. Now I'm not going to use, I always like to put something over the piston. Some of the guys like to go straight back, pushing the back of the cup. I don't know. I'm always afraid I'm going to blow through the back of it. I definitely don't want to push straight onto the rim, so I always put something here. I usually use the pad that is coming out, because usually we're doing pads with this, so I use the old pad because it's going to get thrown out. But I have a feeling, depending on what we do, we may want to be using these pads. Like I said, they are brand new. So I'm just going to grab an old pad I had laying around, and we're going to make this as simple as possible. And although that piston collapses, it's not collapsing too good. It should not be that hard to collapse. In fact, on a lot of these, I've actually done it with my fingers on a nice, not all of them, I shouldn't say that, but there's a fair amount. You grab them, you can usually push them in like this. Not that I'm strong or anything, believe me, I'm not, but it should, I guess what I'm trying to say is it should push in fairly easy. You shouldn't have to crank down on this thing. And just to prove the point, let's see if we're pointing in the right direction. Let's adjust the camera a little bit. How's that? And get this, yes, I'm going to let it hang for a minute. Don't yell at me, but it's not a, it turns. It's obviously not a driveline issue. It's not an axle holding it. These pads aren't bound up. Actually, these pads actually move pretty well in here. So They're not like they're bound up, even though it was a pad slap. Whoever did the pads just slapped the pads and didn't do really much else. It is actually, it's moving. Actually, maybe moving too much. I don't know if you guys can. Let's see. I actually have up and down movement. I really shouldn't have that. It shouldn't move. It shouldn't move this way. Pad just needs to move this way. So that would actually cause a. You get a clicking noise out of that. Actually, both of them are doing it, which means. That there's no doubt here. Let's see if I can pull that out. That is almost one through. So that's, again, that's why we always say, not just me, everybody else that does these videos, it's worth anything, will tell you, change them. That's why. It's literally pushing through the other side. So what we're going to get here, we're going to put a set of calipers in it, both sides, because they're both sides doing the same exact thing, and I'm going to put a set of hoses in it. Why hoses? The car is 16 years old. At this point, it's a maintenance issue. We're going to change the caliper. The hoses are only a couple of dollars. We already have to bleed the system anyway. It just makes good practice. Let's just put a hose in it. We're not launching the parts cannon at it. We know there's nothing wrong with the hose. It's just a maintenance issue. We'll put a new set of calipers, new set of hoses. We'll leave the pads and rotors. The rotors are actually in good shape. There's a little bit of rust in here because it was sitting in the rain outside, but the rotors are actually in good shape. The pads are brand new. And we'll kick it out the door. Stick around and maybe I'll shoot the replacement of the calipers and hoses, but that's not what the video is about. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of my method of troubleshooting the stuck wheel before we got, just ripping it apart and possibly overlooking the real problem. So we know the calipers are stuck. We've confirmed it. We know it's not the slides. Although the slides got a ridiculous amount of play in them. We know it's not a hydraulic issue. It's just mechanical. The piston's tight, stuck. And that's it. So stick around for part 2, if there is one. We'll see how the day goes. I'm really busy, guys, but thanks for checking it out.